could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just hold an obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep on the scheme. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they drive the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives. You create thoughts. Never waste time. You got one shot. You got one life. Better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5. No mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way. What I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep on the scheme. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they drive the chains, you can say no, free me.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back. We are here for another day of Frontier. Well, first off, thank you to everyone who has stopped in, viewed, chatted, however you participated in the stream. We made affiliate in our first 4 days at the Frontier, so I appreciate it. Today, we're not going to do a super long stream because I'm going to go see How to Train Your Dragon tonight, but we're going to put up a new base and kind of like improve our ability to make some new weapons and armor. Well, we're going to go shields, but we're going to improve our combat ability today. Alright. Let's get this started. First things first. Looks like our setup for the day is still here. Someone else has been in this belt. I'm not seeing anybody right now. That's good. Looks like we're alone here. So, we can just do our thing then. Alright, let's see what we need for the network node, because that's what we're going to kind of need first. So, we need some more carbon weave. Looks like we still have a few in stock from before. We have lots of thermal composites. Oh, let's check, is our portable storage still full? Yeah, okay. These are going to be lootable eventually, but that has not happened yet in the game, so we'll take advantage of that temporary bug. Drop this stuff back off. Let's see here, we're definitely going to need more carbon weave, so I guess we'll start with that. Not super exciting, but to put our mining lasers back on. Back and forth all the time in this game to do something, but I realize you need something else. You gotta go back to mining and standard survival game, right? You go out, you start collecting stuff, and you realize that you don't have everything you need. You gotta make better tools and go from there. Yeah, I think we already have some carbons, or let's see, was anything refining when we logged off? Which is what we're getting right now. Stockpile. Hey, we do a little bit. Take that 200. Start that stack, gives us a little bit of a head start. Thankfully we only need, we've already got 7 carbon weaves, so with another stack of 14, so let's get started. Get capped out. Come on. Oh, I'm not selecting hat. Helps if I select the right target. Make a deal with yourself, you'll get after it. Find something that you love, call it passionate. Or find some passion and leave it behind, gotta quit. Your journey starts now. So we're gonna specifically, we gotta put down a network node because we want an assembler, and the assembler is what we need to make some of the better equipment. So I'm not too concerned about like the printers or the refineries or anything like that, shipyards. Specifically we need an assembler. And we'll probably put down a better storage unit. Some more refining. Oh, I don't have the cargo expander on. That'll make a difference. Just that fitting too. For anyone that's played Eve Online, it's a little bit different in this game. I don't know, it's already open to you don't have any shields and armor. Right now I have shields because I have shield module fit. That's the wrong button. But that also means we can't use cargo grids, so now we're gonna bring our cargo grid on. I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the obviously
game
it's
like
safer to have shields, but
now wake up.
Can't always be safe. Just need better tools.
It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything.
So let's do this for a little bit just to get our carbon built up. We already have a bunch of stuff we've looted from abandoned processing sites around the area. I think sites have been resetting at midnight game time, so with the 24 minutes, the sites probably reset, but by then we'd already have our base up and be doing other things, so focus on that first. My main goal for coming over to this area was to get, I already have some, so I can show you some of these feral data items, because if we at the market here, we can actually sell these, and it's one of the few things that, well, as far as I know, it's the only thing right now that the NPCs are buying. So if they buy them, and we can finally get some money, and we can finally buy these 3x lenses, which are only NPC seated. They don't have any, you can't build them or anything. So we need those to get the fuel for our next level of ship. And if we don't have them, then we won't be able to fuel that ship even once we build it. So don't put too much effort into the building of ships beyond the Corvette, because we couldn't even fly it if we wanted to. Come on. There we go. That seems to be a little more responsive. A little limited on storage, partially because these are so big, but they're useful, so I don't want to throw them away. Fuel taking up a lot of space, a little bit. There's some metal-rich ore. There is. Let's see. Storage. We'll need common ore to build that storage unit as well. That way, in case they patch soon, we won't have our storage all lootable here. Definitely don't plan to stay here long term. The point of being here is just to shoot some stuff and gain some money, but
you won't see me stop, no, you won't see me quit. I'm gonna make it to the top.
Be here for a little bit, so
never catch me, man, I'm gone, 'cause I'll be working.
If I don't get back to my previous base within the next, at this point, probably 14-15 days, it's going to run out of fuel, and I'm not sure exactly what that's going to entail, whether it's going to make it more vulnerable or what, but I'm kind of thinking I want to go down to this cluster of stars over here. There seems to be a whole lot of drawbacks to being inside these gated systems. And frankly, I'd rather get away from people. There's a lot of structures over here around this cluster.
You won't see me quit. I'm gonna make it to the top. If it's the last thing I did, never catch me, man, I'm gone. 'Cause I'll be working off the grid, grinding through all the pain. I said I'd do it and I did. I'm the type to work until my hands fucking bleed. I'm the type to fight when
so I think there was some common ore in that system over, so I'm not worried about that yet.
Everything I fucking need.
Let's see, these didn't have very much in it. Cargo space, we can fix that. We are capping out though. That's another reason to build the other cargo storage, and it's quite a bit bigger. Just a second here. So clearly we're having a storage problem. Thankfully it gets smaller when it gets refined, so worst case scenario I can just jettison some stuff out. That going, so that'll be 1400. This might be enough, and if it is, I'll go find that common ore that we need. Another 1300, and oh yeah, that's definitely enough. That'll let us build the carbon leaf. I don't think we have any building or anything. Oh, we have our ammo that's done. I don't want to take that out yet. It might be kind of big. I was going to build coil guns, but I forgot we built all that ammo, so I guess we'll use that up first. The coil guns just look better to me. Alright, we'll go next door. I think system next door, either this one or this one, I think. One of these three. Find some. Natural, that's what it's called.
Purpose is better than any drug you could ever think. If you know why you're doing something, that's all you need. I wake up ready for the day because I believe.
They said in the Discord we should be exploring L points. There's a few things in L points like superstructures and stuff like that, but maybe there's occasionally sites, so maybe we'll have to do some exploring to go around. Let's double check here. 250 dollars. So we had that already. I'm not worried about those storage units. Similar, also needs carbon weave, but we'll put down the network node first. 714. Oh yeah, we should have 21, so should be enough to put down both of them. So we shouldn't use any more. There's enough common ore. Went fast. Hey, what's up? Ginger Dreadman. Thanks for joining us. We are just working on putting down a little temporary base that we will abandon because I tried running a site at the end of the last stream and we had only had a basic shield bulwark on, and I didn't feel like it was quite enough to run around and run rat sites. Felt like it was going to take a really long time, so just building a quick little base so we can build some better equipment. I need some money. Alright, let's see here. More back here. I don't think I can even put down. It's cool. I love the look of this destroyed edge of the gate. It's almost impressive the gate's even still working. You would think that would be a really difficult warp calculation, not hitting any of that debris. I gotta put down the network node first. So we'll start grabbing stuff for that. I just gotta build the carbon first. Let's see if we can just finish refining. A little bit more. We'll start that. That one. It's the bigger stack though. There we go. Nope, that's the ammo one. It'd be nice if you could name these things. I think they're going to change that. I'd like to be able to be like, yeah, this is the one I print ammo at. Okay, that's not going to take very long. Let's double check. Whoops. Let's double check what else we need here. We need a thermal composite, printed circuits, and carbon weave. I'm going to say I might as well double check what we need for the storage unit. And 250 metal, that's right. Got more. Need of that. Drop that down. That. 6 of that. Need 10 circuits. 250 ore. Hopefully we don't run out of cargo space here. So far so good. Where did my printer go? Nice thing about these temporary ones, actually all the structures so far, is they're meant to be moved, so it doesn't take a lot of effort to just pick them up and drop them off somewhere else. Alright, so to put down the network node, we have to use an L point. This is just going to be a temporary one. Where are we at? There we are. Let's see if there's one near us here. There is. Let's go for the closest one to the current score, just in case. The network node is kind of like a flag. It claims an L point, so once you claim it, someone's got to just show your stuff to build there. So far, everything's kind of individual. I hope eventually we'll make this here. Not at all. Alright. I'm hoping to make larger ones eventually for like tribes and stuff. Build our network node. These network nodes can only be built on 0 at an L point, a range point. Which is like peak orbits of different celestials. Kind of see the process of it building. It's kind of cool on the camera mode too. Putting itself together.
This is a statement to appreciate all that is vacant. It's just for the taking. If you make up your mind to take it.
Oh, I forgot we're gonna need fuel, but they should still let me build stuff. Thank you for the follow. I'll damage the stream boss there. Yeah, the early game's a little rough. This is my second base, though. So it's not as bad. Like, I'm already flying my second reviver, because I lost my first one. Gambling a little bit too hard inside of a drone nest. I thought they were easier sights than they were, but they are not. So, yeah, that is what it reminds me of, is the punching of wood. I think Conan starts that way. You literally have to punch to get the wood. There's another game that starts that way too. I don't remember which one. Maybe 7 Days to Die. You literally just go up to a tree and start punching it. Like, man, my hands would hurt so hard. I don't know how I'm getting wood out of this tree, but rough beginning. Yeah. Minecraft too. Minecraft's a good example. Minecraft is a lot of early punching. You know, it's 7 Days to Die too. If you don't not 7 Days to Die. I mean, the beginning of that's a little brutal too. But if you ever played Medieval Dynasty, you know, starting off with that stone axe and trying to chop trees. If you don't turn off encumbrance, the beginning of Medieval Dynasty is so brutal. I've played it enough times now that I've given up, and I've just turned off encumbrance so I can chop like 60 trees at once before I go back. It's so much more efficient. What I'm looking for, industry. Similar. 20 alloys and 5 circuits. We should have both. Thankfully, all these reinforced alloys and thermal composites I did not build. We found them in a, what they call it, abandoned processing plant, which is my favorite loot site from a building standpoint, for sure. I don't think we need anything else. Am I gonna need this printer? Let's find out. We'll wait. I might need the printer for a couple of things, but hopefully I can just use the portable ones. Alright, let's refresh our assets. Network node. I just told my buddy the other day, I was like, yeah, you know, Minecraft, where you just dig a hole in the ground at the beginning of the game. He's like, you don't dig a hole in the ground. And I was like, that's what I do. Maybe I'm not a good Minecraft player, but I just dig a hole in the ground and hide there. It's still better than 7 Days to Die, where you're like huddling in the corner of some hut, trying not to move or craft anything, because everything makes noise and you have no way to defend yourself in the beginning. 4 minutes, dude. Alright, well, I guess we use this time to start carrying some stuff over. Yeah, this portable storage is full anyways. I do like kind of the building progression they've started. I mean, obviously it's a really early iteration, but, you know, the basic stuff just takes some ore, and then you start, you know, need to do refined materials to build more permanent stuff. I think it steps through pretty well. like this little ship. They called this ship the Job in the early iteration, and I kind of like that name better than the Reaver, but that's okay. More than we can hold. Now we'll take fuel with us so we can actually feel the network node. Thankfully, when they first dropped these smart stuff, smart storage and stuff like that, the only way you could fuel them was through salt, which you had to get through crude, and crude was hard to find. So I'm really glad they added the option to fuel this stuff with just the basic D1 fuel. Even if it's not very efficient, that's fine. At least it's possible. Dropping like 1,000, it's 10 per hour. So we burn for 100 hours. Alright, so now we can start online stuff. So 3 minutes left here, but if we can get the storage units online. Stuff on here, forget to online the network node. Start generating. Oh, there's the start button. I sure did forget to start it. Can I online stuff from here? I haven't tried. Nope, I'll just go through the code. I know it's not going to be necessary, but I think I'm going to want to try and eventually figure out Solidity and smart contracts and stuff, because there's so many games I've played that if I could just solve things. Alright, a little bit of programming. I would definitely do it. I think that will be something I'm trying to figure out eventually. Early iteration of this game is already pretty able to do a lot more textures and stuff like that. I used to always play EVE Online at the lowest textures, and I finally got a computer that can handle the higher textures. And it's so much prettier of a game than I thought it was. I used to think the skins were kind of lame, and then I found out that it was because my graphics were turned down so low. A lot of the stuff will probably get abandoned, but we'll use some of it in manufacturing better tank modules or better weapons or whatever we feel like we need. So for now I want to preserve it all. I've seen a lot of people who've been playing the new Dune game too. I do not know much about the Dune universe though. I'm sure if I could get into it, if I really sat down and tried, but I wasn't one of those people that grew up reading the Dune books or anything like that, so it seems interesting, but it's not something I've ever gotten into. Alright, getting close.
I can feel the cold wind trying to put me on my knees, and I feel all of the pressure to provide everything. So I keep my head down, work hard, and believe that tomorrow will be better. Give it time and you'll see. But there's always a new fight, always a rough night, 'cause it takes a few tries to get something new.
There's a big fight going on in EVE Online today, so I'm just kind of reading through the results of that. I was just too exhausted this morning. It started at 11 a.m. my time, and I was going to try and go and maybe stream it, but that didn't happen. By the time I got my life together, they were already done, so next time. These left is taking up so much space. Are these big? No. Oh, it is the water. Okay. Well, that's fuel, so that's okay. We'll come back. We'll get the last of the water. Oh, we got a huge stack of ammo too. I was giving a little feedback on that. We built built a stack of ammo, like 1800 ammo, and it took 40 minutes. I'm like, I gear through that much ammo in like 10 minutes. This is not... Something is disconnected here. So, I'm gonna have to work on that. We'll see what they do. Still an alpha, so... Not accepted. Oh, right. Because the blockchain stuff, any modules become a singleton item once they're unpackaged. And we can't store them in a small storage unit. But for now, just put it in a jet can, and move a portable storage over here to store it. So temporarily someone can steal it if they find it in the next few minutes, but it's a big place. If they can find it in that time, then I guess they earned it. Be curious to see how they address that in the future, because it doesn't make sense that every module you've ever used will have to be put in a portable storage, which is movable, or will be movable, I should say. It's a bug that it's not right now. It wasn't too long ago that I thought we were going to be stranded out here. I just realized my lighting is terrible. Sorry about that. 1 second. That sun starts going down and just starts cooling pretty heavily. Stored. Should be able to start picking up the... Oh, I can see how big that ammo is. Hopefully I can even fit it in my hold. I think I can. I think I had 800 before without a card because of expander, so... Last time I lost my Reaver, we were armor tanking. And a big part of that is the armor restore, I think, is a little bit too powerful for this ship. Like, your armor HP, if you go for maximum HP, can hold... can give you 750 HP, but the smallest armor restore restores 300, and it's just too much because it burns a lot of capacitor, and you just end up in a position where that's not what I meant to dismantle. Oh, just settle over there. Where did the ore for the... Should be another card. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I think it's just repping too much. You know, you're talking about a third of my HP per cycle, and it's a 15-second cycle. And it's kind of difficult to manage that when it's burning so much. And I'd like to just see a smaller one. You know, they start at level 2. I'd like to see the level 1. Because I would use an undersized one. Dismantle. Dismantle. We're going to move all this stuff over to our little base area. The extra stuff it's dropping is just leftovers we had from the jobs we were running.
I ain't gonna take that, stay back. I'll be swinging hard till it hits, coming all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me. Ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact. Give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back.
Our refuge should be fit.
I'ma go cause something, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's thing, call it shopless.
Not quite one more. That's okay, we'll come back for it.
The pain, it's like candy canes, it makes me go change it to a better frame.
We also have quite a bit of roll left that will be moved, I think. Or at least plenty to build another refuge. it's still useful. The metal ore is, but it is oversupplied compared to what a lot of people want. Because the primary use for it is for making ammo, but it doesn't burn as much as you might want it to, compared to how much is supplied in the area. There it is. Oh man. We're really not too concerned with not too concerned with how this looks, because it's not going to stay here. Well, it might stay here, but we won't stay with it. Not something I'm too worried about. Back to that. Let's go with the last of our stuff. Oh, let's see what's still over there. Must be one of the refineries. There we go. Yeah, it hasn't updated yet. Assets updates about every 5 minutes, so not too surprising. And we can look at what we need to do to start building stuff. Hopefully. Hopefully it does not take too much carbons. Carbon specifically, because I only have one left. Oh, but there's I feel dumb. And then I have to do this. Can I deliver still? Nope, not enough cargo space. RIP. Let's go back. That's fine. I'm going to empty my cargo. Rookie move. Clearly someone else that found this site. I picked the site originally 2 days ago because there was nobody set up here. But it looks like they didn't spend too much time here. They probably just went here for a fuel stop and moved on.
Welcome to my party. We're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare started.
The previous site I had looked at was full. That stuff in.
Flip the handlebars, crashing in my car. Wake up in a bar, I'll be a superstar. Just on my avatar.
50 metal for our refuge.
Empty out the reservoir. Yeah.
This is a little laggy. There we go. It just seems to be partially as stuff comes on and off chain that it gets delayed a little bit. Right there. I picked the right one this time. We'll have to rebuild our temp storage for the singleton items, which specifically is the package modules, because they will fit to our ship. But everything else can go into our bigger storage, so we won't have any storage problems anymore. Can't zoom out very far in the camera angle itself before you go into this tactical view. Oh, that's right, I had the 5. Oh, there was stuff left in the refinery. Thankfully, when you dismantle stuff, if there's stuff still in it, it goes out to cargo too. Alright, there we go. Got that emptied out. Head back. Down our portable storage and start building. The game still very much in an alpha state, but I think they've been doing a good job taking feedback and working through problems and you're not just ignoring them. Let's put down. We can grab our shield module. We got to throw it down here. That's the whole point. We want more shields. Stuff. You cannot stop me. I'ma make it to the top spicy. Caught a coming in not cocky. You cannot break me. This was fine for the taking. Got an itch, man, I'm making. Oh, I'll keep my head down and grind and be patient. Some of the kind of base building aspects of it. And more importantly, enjoying not having to worry about any skills. There's no like blockers other than resources. If you want something, just mine harder. Okay, let's start some more. So we've got a good stack of water going on. Half the reason we came over here is because we ran out of fuel to begin with, so. We were on the hunt. There had been fuel in the system of the keep we went to. We had needed to come over here. It was cleaned out. I guess the fuel wasn't supposed to be carbonous before it was cleaned out. To us, it's the same thing. Okay, well that's still building. Let's look at what we want to build. So thankfully the simulator is still here. Those slots, for that. We're in simulation mode right now, so we're not actually impacting the ship. But right now we have a bulwark shield too, so we'll fit that. Let's see what it looks like. For now, we'll unfit the undersized afterburner and hull repairer. And we'll switch over to our guns. So, let's see, right now we're using base autocannons. They're definitely not the best. Like, I had tier 2s before, but frankly, I don't think we're going to need them, because I'm not trying to do where holds up charges like this. I don't think we're going to do anything too difficult. We're just going to grab this stuff that's easy to grab. Alright, so let's look at our mid slots. So, shield restore would be good. That would be helpful for us. That's not going to fit, so it'll be in level 2. I looked at the NPCs previously, and EVE Online, and at least for now Frontier, though I don't think this will change, has 4 basic damage types: EM, thermal, kinetic, and explosive. So you can kind of get in your mind what those mean. And shields tend to be weak to EM damage and a little bit of thermal. Armor tends to be weaker to kinetic and explosive. Structure is normally either no resistances or fairly omni-resistance. For whatever reason, we have 25%. I'm not sure what that's coming from. It's probably maybe on the ship itself. But the shield recharger helps us recharge the shields faster. It does not directly heal the shields, so there is no direct healing of shields in this right now. And I know where I was going with that. The drones that we're going to fight, from what I saw so far, just do EM damage. So you might wonder why I'm doing shields, but I'm doing shields because armor didn't work out last time, and shields will kind of restore on their own over time. So I'm hoping this will work better. But because it is EM resistances, we're going to try and add an EM array. Is this activated? No, it's a recharge penalty. So that's good. Can I have more than one of these? I can. Do I just want to do this instead of the restore? So my shield HP doesn't change. How much does it change the recharge time? 96 seconds? That's quite a bit of difference. If I do this, though, I won't have any propulsion module. But I don't know. Maybe that's worth trying. The sites we're going to do, I probably don't need propulsion module on. I wish this would show me capacitor, but it does not. I was going to go coil guns, but we already have a ton of this ammo. So let's try this setup. We'll try it. So restore and 2 EM field arrays. So let's look at the assembler. See what we need for those. Helps if we online it. See, is there anything else we need to online? Storage is already online. Everything else is portable for now. I'm hoping we don't need to build a printer, but we'll see. We'll just use the portable ones, hopefully. Alright, so we already have the bulky, so that won't help us. There's like the attuned that has some resistances on it. So it does have some resistances, but it has an activation penalty to get you those resistances. And activation time, which is going to burn capacitor, so I'm a little resistant to use that. And the shield base hit points is a little bit lower. And then the attuned, I'm trying to remember what this one does. Same thing, resistances. Wait, is that what we were just looking at? Bulky, attuned, reinforced. That's what I wanted to look at. The reinforced gives us less shield HP, but increases the shield recharge. So if I had 2 low slots, which I don't, I might consider using this as the second one, but that is not an option. So instead, we're going to focus on our EM screen, whatever they call it in this one. Afterburner is something we can consider for later. EM field array. Of course it uses carbon weave. We only have one of those. That's why I didn't do shields last time. I didn't want to do more carbon weave. And the shield restorer. Precious metals. Oh, I don't have any precious metals right now. Okay. Well, to get precious metals, I'm going to need a refinery. So I guess I'm going to have to build one. Not that refinery. 15 and 15. Alright, well thankfully we have that. Let's switch open our storage. It's past midnight. Maybe we will run down 2 jumps away from here is a really good site. Abandoned processing plant. And if it has refreshed, like I think it has, and no one has hit it in the last 15 minutes, maybe we can just loot what we need. We don't have to keep mining. So for now, we'll build the refinery. We're going to need it for the heavy metals, or precious metals, whatever they call them. And storage. Drop these off. And then we're going to go check this processing plant. There are 2 of them in the area, but this one's closer, so we'll check it first. Hopefully someone else isn't already sitting there. Bumper cars over here. I feel like the Corvette should be a little bit more maneuverable than this thing is, but it's okay. It's fun to watch. Hopefully we can just loot our carbon weave. That's the only thing I'm really interested in. I guess I'm not trying to stay here permanently, so I think I want to get out of the gate soon. Too many people seem to be bunched up in the gate systems. And if we can go to one of those denser star clusters, then we shouldn't be too worried about the we shouldn't be too worried about the fuel going between systems because we'll have really short hops. Sorry, I didn't realize the background sound was cranked all the way up. Hopefully it hasn't been too loud. I changed themes in between streams so everything kind of reset. Alright. Probably should have double checked this system. Drifting tower, unremarkable. Minor, okay. We have no idea if anybody else is here. There's no local chat or anything, so... Abandoned processing plant. Let's go for it. We're gonna find out. There's a metal rich if we need it. So we're gonna be running these surveyor sites once we have everything built. They don't have much in them, but they're nice, easy sites. Just the beacon. Don't immediately see anybody in here, so I'll give it a go. Kind of an undersized afterburner, so it's not as fast as we could be going, but better than nothing. Over here, I have a hard time telling the difference between these two. I gotta like highlight over them and see which one's the hull repair. Hull repair is also off the shuttle. It's not really designed for this ship, but we only have hull, so sometimes it's needed. Alright, come on. Show me the money. Don't need the afterburner right now. Nothing. Shoot. Hopefully whoever has come through here has not finished the site off yet. Come on, baby. Show me something good. Just want some carbon weave. Nothing. Oh wait, that's the other one. Nothing. Ooh, this isn't looking good. It's gonna struggle, isn't it? Can't see in the camera view, but inside tactical you can see where the blue line there is where I'm trying to manually pilot the ship. The direction it's going towards. Sometimes it struggles a little bit to path inside of objects. I'm hoping long term they have some sort of controller support. I don't actually have a controller attached to my computer right now, but I would get one for this game. Come on. Show me something, show me something. Everyone spends a lot of time mining for carbon, so if we can avoid it, I would love to. Come on. Nothing. Oh, this is not a good sign. I bet the last one's empty too, but I'd feel really silly if I didn't check it. It has everything in it. Yeah. Come on. Right now the manual piloting is just kind of double clicking at a point in space, so hopefully that gets improved over time. I'm sure it will. It's just the default that they've used in EVE Online now for a long time. Maybe since the game started, I don't know. As long as I've played it since 2009, so. But you don't have to worry as much about collidable objects in EVE Online like you do in this. Okay. Denied. Now, I believe the other one is somewhere like here. Somewhere along these system chains, so. And we'll go check. I thought most people were in here temporarily, but maybe there's some people that are actually living in this area. Or maybe the site just didn't respond. It's hard to say right now. But we have had a couple of sites that we've looted multiple times, so. From what we've seen, these Stargates are so big. From what we've seen, they seem to reset at midnight game time, which is GMT. Alright, what have we got in system? I do have a couple of loot sites, but not the kind we want. Come on, show me something good. I think this is the system it's in. Yep, right there. Rift. So we're trying to build up stuff for. Another surveyor site. Oh, there's more carbon over here. Could have been a place to put a base too. I don't know that there was carbon in this system when I looked through it before. Oh, this is a much bigger one. Okay. Not seeing any other players yet. But it requires line of sight, so even if they were hiding in between these two containers, or happened to be between those two containers when I came in, I would not see them. But theoretically, they should not see me either then. And we did test it. Me and my buddy were right on top of each other, and we couldn't see each other. It must be close to the sun. Alright, let's see something in here. If we see stuff, we're only going to loot the carbon weave, because that's all we care about. We got plenty of the others. And if this site's full, it'll completely fill our hold, so we'll be picky. Okay, first one's empty, but that doesn't mean anywhere. There's no way someone can take this all on a single trip. But if people are living here, they might have already cleaned it out. But we'll check it. Come on. Don't be empty. Empty. Like a desert out here. It's definitely one of the downsides of survival games if you're not someone that likes zoning into collecting resources. You end up doing a lot of it in any survival game. Nope. Let's see, how do we want to loot this? Let's go to there first. Should be a little easier to navigate around. Let's look at the map here for a second while we do. So if you haven't seen this before, this little bubble around us is kind of our jump drive range. So there's a heat mechanic that limits it. So can't actually jump that far, but that's what it represents, is your ability to use your jump drive. And this heat mechanic's pretty new, so they're still working out the kinks in it. We're at like version 0.1.1, so. But I'm thinking this really dense cluster of stars over here. I'm thinking that's where we want to go. Because, I mean, it'd be so easy to get around. There'd be so much potential for various different systems and stuff. You can see another dense cluster out there. This just happens to be the closest one to us, so I think once we get some money and get some lenses and stuff like that, I might try and start making my way out here and seeing about setting something up. My favorite one might be this one, just because I feel it's more out of the way, but I think that'd be a fun area to be. Another blank, huh? Nope. Go that way. The game does have like a tick response of 0.25 seconds, so it is fairly responsive, but you know, you're in space and objects in motion tend to stay in motion, so navigation comes with its own challenges. There's no dragger resistance, but thankfully collision is not a thing. Oof. Okay, this site might be empty too, but we're already here, so. I'm not sure how I feel about the site staying static and not like clearing after they've been emptied. There's definitely good and bad to it as well. Like the ore sites seem to respawn, but they move systems when they get cleared out. You know, in the earlier iteration of the game, all sites disappeared and you get something new that would spawn in the system. I'm just not sure. Like, it makes sense from a real world type game mechanic, you know, if you wanted to just go like simulator style, but you know, when you think about the fact that this game is supposed to tens of thousands of players maybe someday. Yeah, it looks like this could be a bust. You know, it doesn't seem very sustainable even if people are spreading out. You know, just think about putting a tribe together and having 20, 30, 50 people in it, maybe more. It's pretty hard to go run sites and stuff as a group, you know, clearing out systems if nothing ever respawns. You end up with a couple of people that find everything. Okay, nothing here. So we will navigate back to our little temporary base. We'll check out some stuff on the way, just in case we find another one, but I think this is the only two directly in this area. There was another one. I'm trying to remember. I think like maybe this system or something over here. Or this one of the jump systems that you have to jump to. But there's no guarantee that that has anything in it either, so I think it makes more sense just to do a little bit of mining. But if we see another one on the way back, we'll check it out. There are other loot sites, but specifically the processing facilities have the like base building blocks. Not seeing any. Oh, there's another one. All right. I don't remember if that was there before or not. And I found two of these early on, and it significantly accelerated me. Of course, then I lost that ship, but it helped in the beginning. Oh, this one's a little bit different color. More gray. Interesting. That is just brighter? I don't know, I can't tell. Obviously, these are alpha textures. I don't know if anyone has seen it yet, but I'm going to go see How to Train Your Dragon tonight. I'm looking forward to it. It was a fun animated movie, but, you know, dragons are just cool, so. No live action dragons, not going to complain about that. We're going to go see it in the D-Box Theater, if you know what that is. Those seats that like vibrate and stuff like that, so should be fun. I told my friend we definitely got to get tickets to go see him Jurassic Park when it comes out. I can only imagine like the T-Rex roaring and your sheets shaking. Thanks for following Core Logic, really appreciate it. Do a little more damage to the stream boss there. By the way, if anybody notices any weird behavior with like the chatbot and stuff, let me know. I just kind of enabled it yesterday, so still dialing it in. I tried to make it not too restrictive, but oof. Rude. I would play this game even with these textures as they are. They are not flashy, but I like the gritty nature of this for a survival space game. It definitely fits with like the post-apocalyptic theme of the whole thing. But knowing CCP, they're going to make it pretty, so I won't complain. I'll look forward to it. Plus, there should be a lot of cool opportunities for like ship skins and stuff eventually when we be able to put our own in the game. If anyone isn't aware, their long-term plan is to completely open source the engine on this and allow for outside development, so This game could look very, very different in a decade. We'll see. What do we got? Oh, we got some carbon weave. Hey, this site is not completely empty. Sweet. This is a good start. I'm not going to take this because we already have a lot. I just want the carbon weave, so... This way, buddy. Still getting used to the key binding. People want to use my Eve key bindings, and some of them I've changed, so... They're not even the base game key bindings. So I don't even know anymore if the key bindings I'm used to are just because I changed the Eve ones or because they use different ones in here. Gonna miss it? Yeah, we missed it. Alright, there's only one on this side, so we'll go for this one and then we'll check out these three. And hopefully we'll keep finding more carbon weave. I think we need about 20 or 30. But I'll take all of it I can find. I think we still have about 60 thermal and 60 reinforced alloys. Maybe 40. I don't remember. Either way, we've got one carbon weave, so we'll definitely focus on that. Come on, don't be empty. Don't be empty. Don't let it be a one and done. What? What is this pathing? What is this? What are you doing? Let's go in a straighter line. There's a weird zigzag going on here. Okay, these are good. I think we might actually need more of those too, so I'll take the circuits. They're not difficult to build, but free stuff is free stuff. We're going to try and build ourselves a few more shield modules, then go after some rogue drones or whatever they're called in this. There are no humans in this game. Players are the clones, and the enemies are the robots, and so far there's nothing in between. Ooh, 39. God, that feels like a jackpot. Wow. That just saves so much time. If we can't find any more, we'll grab some of the reinforced alloys because we have less of that, but... The site I didn't even realize was here. Maybe it's a new one, I don't know. Either way, I'm not complaining. Can we... Turn! Actually, I should probably just go back towards this one. Go in between the two. As these cargo cans are like right in the middle of these things. I guess I'm not doing a good job paying attention to see if anyone else is here. Hopefully there isn't. Now that I finally got the loot we want, I don't want to get shot. $23 for... You can see why I like this site, because you build in stacks of 14. So we've already got, what, a little over 3 stacks already of the carbon weave. Okay, so no more carbon weave. We got some reinforced alloys. We'll follow up on that. And we will head back towards the base and get stuff building. Even if we have to build a little bit more, that'll save us a lot of time. Alright, hopefully it warps before it bounces. I don't know that it will. Nope. Oh well, that bounced it out enough. So someone else can come along and find some reinforced alloys and thermal composite or whatever it's called. We will happily take the carbon weave with us. I will kind of look as we go along just to see if we see any more of them. Future reference. I'm not worried about looting them right now, but... Big I wonder if these are like fuel bays or something. It's kind of interesting from a lore standpoint. We don't know, like, what really happened here. We don't know why we woke up when we did. Side note, I think, if I remember correctly, let's see if I have a note from it right here, but I think these incubator sites, or whatever they're called, are sites that grow over time. So if they get left alone, they get bigger, which is kind of cool. Someone was talking about it earlier in the Discord. I'm just seeing if I could find it really quick. But yeah, it must be why there's a different or a lack of icon here, because this site changes over time. But we're in a pretty small ship right now. We're still in Corvette. Hey, how's it going, Godluck? Have you been playing? Or are you just trying to learn about the game? I've definitely been having fun with it so far. Yeah, it's alpha, so there's bugs, but I like it. Jump, jump. You're just learning? Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it. It's kind of our system view. You can see what objects we have, planets, moons. There's L points. We have been told by the devs we should explore them. I haven't done a lot of exploring of them, but there's not very many NPC stations. There's very few. They have the keeps, and that's all the NPC stations there are. And I will open the map after we start jumping here and show you, but there are very few of them in the universe. Okay. So if we look at the map here, zoom out. So these red dots in the map are the only NPC stations that exist. Everything else, you know, you can see there's a few stargates, lines between stars here. But like, all the stars here around the black holes have no gates. You know, there's a few gates up here and back up there, but, you know, a large majority of this area does not have any gates connecting stuff. So, MP stations are referred to as keeps. So like we have one right here. And they're big. They're big structures. You can see the access on this is 96 kilometers long. So they're huge. This is the docking point right here in the center. Big, big structures. But there's not much you can do with them. So if you look at it, you can fit your ship, they have a market, and you can repair your ship. You can't build there. It's not really feasible to live there. So they're just kind of a place to go have a market. And long term, through use of smart contracts and Solidity, you'll actually be able to build markets as players. Not yet. I'm hoping long term we're going to be able to make bigger structures, but we're on our way back to the base right now. We're one jump away, and I'll show you kind of the player base that you make. And it's like a more exposed in space. You can't dock. The only place you can dock is in the keeps. So, you know, just like most survival games, when we're crafting and stuff like that, we're completely exposed. Someone could come along and shoot us. Oh. This is a big system. I always forget about it. It scares me every time because my heat goes into critical, but I don't really know. Heat's a new mechanic. I don't quite understand it yet, so I don't quite know what going into critical means other than it doesn't like it. Alright, so we're in system now. So we're going to jump to our network node. Excuse me, and our network node is the cornerstone of our base. That's what gives power to the modules that are around it. So that's kind of your core. And I don't know if you can build multiple right now, but long term, basically the idea is that you'll be able to add additional network nodes to then expand your base and add more stuff to it. But this is our little base right now. You can see this looks like a dock, but it's not really one. Even the hangars that you can make. So if we go in here, we do have a couple of hangars, a small one for like frigates, and then a bigger one that can have up to battle cruisers. They're really just for storing ships. You can't like hang out inside of them. And then occlusion mechanics are a part of this game. So you can build walls to hide out behind, dodge from shots, protect maybe some of your more fragile infrastructure if you want to. These are just cosmetic totems you can put down. There's turrets we can put down as well for defensive purposes. I haven't built any yet just because it's a lot of resources, but it is an option. And if you really want to dump some resources into something, you can build a smart gate, but and you have to build 2 of them to connect on each end. But right now the only ship capable of putting down a gate is a battleship, and we are nowhere near being able to build a battleship. You know, storage facilities, the only difference between these is size, really. And then with industry, we've got a couple of sizes of printers, small, large, medium. We've got a small and a large refinery, the assembler, which is where we build things like modules, and then our shipyards, corvettes, and shuttles. This is as far as we've gotten. This will be frigates, destroyers, and cruisers. Requires this enclave or exclave technocore, which has been a drop item that people have been looking for since the game went live. There was a bug in this alpha build where they weren't dropping as much as they should have, so they're working on that. And then the large shipyard for battleships and battle cruisers, which uses a different kind of technocore. And then these core structures, other than the network node, these refuge, the portable refinery, the portable printer, and the portable storage are just really basic structures, temporary structures. And so we have a few temporary structures down. We have portable storage and a couple of portable printers and stuff, just because I don't intend on making this a permanent base. But how's it going, R. Splendid? Good to have you here. So far we're doing okay. This is kind of our second little base. Came out here to make some money so we could buy some lenses and mine some crude. But we're working our way through it. Alright, so we need math 22, 24. Unfortunately, that's going to take some time. Come on, click on the right spot. Wait, why can't I build 2? That's weird. It's not letting me build 2. Well, we'll start one of them. Start another one afterwards, actually, I guess. Yeah, it is a fun game. If anyone is interested in picking it up, I do have a referral link down below the stream. I'm not really sure what it's going to do yet, but normally their referrals are benefits for both sides. But I've had fun with it so far. You know, especially for an alpha build, there's quite a bit to do. And, you know, yeah, some things are broken, but it's just an alpha. Like, I'm just having fun figuring out the game and exploring, and the exploration in this game is fantastic. There's a lot of, like, hidden things and little mini games and sites that a lot of people are, you know, not really figuring out. And, you know, if we look at the map, I don't know if you play EVE Online, but we're in a little gate network right now, but you can see that a lot of the stars exist outside of the gate network. And like you see the little bubble around our system, that represents that this ship has a jump drive and we can jump between systems. And so yeah, you just have to refuel along the way. I've heard a couple of people compare that to Elite Dangerous. I have not played Elite Dangerous, but now I feel like I need to, so I can understand the comparisons. But I think I kind of want to move out here to this really dense cluster of stars. Here it is, it's down here. Nice and close together. Lots of things I can get to without spending a lot of fuel, but hopefully away from people a little bit. And you can see these little red dots on the map. These are the only NPC stations in the game. These are the only places you can dock. So your only safety net beyond that is logging off. You know, as we're building right here, we're totally exposed. We're sitting out here in the elements, so not a lot of protection. Not a lot of protection. We're pretty limited. Okay, let's see here. There's our portable storage. Oh, where's our other storage, actually? Kind of bunched everything together. It makes it a little hard to see where it is. There it is. So as you can see, all the different IDs and stuff in here, this particular storage is on the blockchain. The blockchain stuff is still in testing, but you know, this is, you'll be able to interact with this with smart contracts and set up like vending machines or markets and things like that if you want to. Just get one ship, or can you make a bigger ship eventually? Oh no, you can definitely make a bigger ship. So this is like the first buildable small ship that you can make, one of the two. Most people start, there's no limits. Your only limits are resources. Most people start with this Reflex because it's kind of a dedicated explorer and it's in this portable printer. But once you put down the shipyards, you can build this guy. And then just if I open up the market here, I can show you a few others. So the recurve, I don't see any use in right now. I think eventually it's going to have some combat bonuses on it, but currently it is just worse than the Reaver. So the recurve is kind of a dead ship right now. The Reflex is a little bit better at exploring than the Reaver is. And the Wend is like the rookie ship. This is the one you get given when you lose everything. Because unlike EVE Online, there's no pods or anything. You are like a person inside of the ship. So you can't just fly around without a ship. The only way you can get around anywhere is with a ship. Then we have the half here. The Laura, which is, these are both frigates, but this one can do combat. This one doesn't have any high slots. It's just like a small freighter. In comparison, though, this is a frigate. It has a capacity of 3120 and its cargo hold. I have 990, but I'm doubling it with a cargo grid expander. Yeah, you can have hundreds of portable storages if you want to. I mean, you can look at my list here off to the side. I've got a whole bunch of stuff down. And the only thing on the portable ones is they're limited to 3 days, 14 hours. And that's reset every time you interact with it. So if you're using it constantly, it won't go away. But if you just leave it and ignore it, 3 days, 14 hours, it'll go into a cargo container. And then after the 2 hours, I think they last, it'll just go poof and disappear. So these more permanent structures last longer. I'm not sure they even have a timer on them, but I'm guessing it'll be something like 30 days after they run out of fuel in the live game, because that's what they were doing previously. And then this MCF is another frigate, a little more agile of a frigate. And then this USF is also a frigate. It's in theory apparently supposed to be a mining frigate. Let's see. I don't know why it doesn't have much more. It doesn't have any more capacity. What's its fitting look like? Oh, it does have more low slots, I think, so maybe you can get more that way. But a lot of the ships don't have bonuses, so they're not too different right now. And then this is one of the destroyers, Tades. Obviously a white box model still, but difference being that this actually has 3 power or 3 turret hard slots, whereas the frigates have 2. And then there's for sure the battleship here in the game as well. but this is currently a freighter. So I think these are all supposed to be like cargo containers. They've talked about ships having physical cargo containers on them in their final models. So one of their ideas, and hopefully they come through with this, is you will see how full a ship is by how many external cargo containers it has on it. Yeah, they look cool. Cool. Even for a white box model, I like where they're going with it. And there is a few others. I don't know if they're just not visible in the market. Let me see if I open the... Hold on, let me check the assembler just to see if that's done yet so we can start another one. It is done. So we will start another one building, because it wouldn't let me stack two of them. You see, if I open the fitting here and go to the simulator, I did see holes in here. Okay, let's see. So there's more ships in here. So we got the shuttle already. Look through the frigates. There's only one destroyer right now. 3 corvettes. And then the battle cruiser. Oh, this is not a battle cruiser. That's a battleship. That's a little bit of a bug. But you can see it has no high slots on it. So you can put expanded cargo holds on it. You can put tank modules on it. You can put an afterburner, but you're not going to do any combat with this one. I know they have a couple more models of... Oh, they downgraded this to a battle cruiser. This used to be a battleship. Interesting. The battleship hauler must be massive. How big is this? 619 meters long. It's pretty big. But the there's a couple of battleships. I've seen them before in testing, and in the previous iteration, it was a little easier to build things, and some people did get up to the level of battleship. So they exist. They just must be working on the models. But yeah, none of these... Like, I've just put down a couple of things here. You know, I got a couple of printers down. This is assembler for building modules. A couple of refineries. This is a bigger... Oh, that's one thing we needed. We needed precious metals. So let's look at that. We gotta online this. Could not be executed. Why? Online. Okay, there we go. Weird. Okay, so we're gonna have to refine some metal-rich ore, which I think we already have some of. I like kind of the gritty appearance of things. Even as they improve textures, I hope they kind of preserve that, you know. Nothing here should be flashy, you know, it's post-apocalyptic survival. Everything should look very functional. We just need some precious metals to make one of our modules. It's only going to get us 24. Okay, maybe we'll go mine a little metal-rich ore. I think there's some in system. So, I don't know if you've played EVE Online, but there is no safe space. So, literally everywhere in the game is open PvP. There's lots of PvE activities, but like EVE Online, it's a single shard universe. Everybody's on the same server. There's no instancing or anything like that. So, if somebody is near you, they will be in space with you. They will be next to you. They can shoot you. There's no consequences for it whatsoever. It is open world sandbox. See, someone set up a few things here. I don't see them. Okay, unless they're hiding behind the rock, they're not here. So we'll start mining a little bit. Because they could be. There's ambush mechanics are totally viable in this. You can hide behind things. You need line of sight, even in that tactical view. So it seems like I could see everything here, right? Because I can spin around the asteroids and stuff like that. But if they were sitting directly behind this rock when I jumped in, I would not know they were there. Unless maybe I saw the line of their laser or something like that. But we tested it. It's totally possible to hide from people. So I create some cool opportunities for like ambushes and other things like that. I've been encouraging them to even do things like comms relays because, you know, I'm pretty far away from my first base right now. There's no established infrastructure in this universe. Like I say, it's post-apocalyptic, so there's no reason I should be notified immediately if somebody starts attacking my base. It should take time for that signal to get to me. And so if you set up, you know, maybe communication networks, you can speed up that delivery of information. But there's no mechanical reason in this universe you should get instantly notified. You should not be able to have instant access to information. I know you can get around that outside of game because of, you know, like if you have another player there and they're on Discord or whatever, but at least that requires another physical human. You know, I don't think some of the stuff should be completely passively free. But there's also lots of places, lots of area to spread out. So right now the universe is about 24,500 stars, and EVE Online has 7,800 just as a baseline for comparison. And the final universe they're going for in this game is over 100,000. So there will be a lot of space. You know, even theoretically, if you had 100,000 players, everybody could have a single star system to themselves. It's not obviously going to happen because, thankfully, thank you Wesley Pipes for subscribing. Appreciate it. You know, some systems are just deserts and really don't have any resources. Other ones are super resource rich, so you'll still have kind of a gold rush environment of people fighting over resources. But there will be lots of room for groups to spread out, at least. You know, they'll just be conflict driven over some of the richer areas. Oh yeah, someone could 100% destroy my base. However, it is fairly strong. I'll show you, but so for example, I have 1900 HP. If I look at this network node, it has 3.6 million shield, 1.8 million structure, 1.8 million armor hit points. And if we look at my ship right now, I have... oh no, I have the mining lasers on. When I have the autocannons on, I have like 150 DPS. So a single ship could not even get past the shield recharge on this structure. They wouldn't be able to take it down fast enough. Now, if you got 50 or 100 people together, that's a different story. They could definitely take it down. So it is at risk, but they're going to need more firepower. I mean, there's still content. You know, it's a little bit, you know, laggy, but this is version 0.1.1. The whole reason to play the game right now is to provide feedback and, you know, help dictate the direction the game is going. So I will accept some bugs to help aid in the development direction that the game is going and make sure it's in line with the kind of game that I want to play. And they're releasing new major content patches every 2 months, so thankfully it's an, you know, CCP EVE Online development pace and not a Star Citizen development pace. Because, you know, I paid for that game like 10 years ago. And they have a long way to go from what they promised. So I've played EVE Online since 2009, so I have faith they can put a game together. And you know, there's a lot of people that have been really passionate about how the game has come together and what they want to see out of it. So, you know, and that includes the devs too. You know, the devs are playing it, the devs are having fun with it, and you know, the more of that happens, the better things will go. Alright, that is our second EM field array. And now we need the restore. Excuse me. Shield restore. I need a search box in this thing. There we go. Oh, I only need 13. I thought I needed way more. 13, 17, 17. So we need more printed circuits. We have enough carbon. We have enough of that. So printed circuits. You know, and you also have only so many people in the game right now. You know, eventually there will be free-to-play options that will let people, you know, get in and kind of experience the game before they put down money. But right now the only way to get in is to put down a chunk of money. So that'll keep some people away on its own. And most of the lag you're seeing is the early iteration of things moving from on-chain to an off-chain area of the game. I'm not saying it's acceptable for a long-term live game, but this is alpha. Not everything is going to work immediately. Circuits, that's what we're looking for. But I totally understand if you're in a position of wanting to wait and see how the game develops over time. Yeah, every time you invest into an early access game, there's always a risk associated with it. But you know, even Dust 514, which is one of the most spectacularly failed games that CCP ever put together, you know, it was super entertaining in my opinion while it lasted. But you know, locking a game into PlayStation 3 is a really bad development choice, and I think they just signed a bad contract with Sony for it. So, you know, they have learned. They've gotten better over time. You know, the development pace that they used to have for EVE Online was much longer, you know, and now they've adopted this model where they put out, like, I think it's minor content patches every 2 months and major ones every 4 months or something like that, but they churn out updates for their games. And they're doing the same thing here. You know, every cycle is 2 months, and then we get a wipe, and they release a whole bunch more content. Like, last time I was playing this, which was back in December, so it was like 3 cycles ago, but this refuge was not only like your basic starting point, but it was your ship refitting, and it was your refining and all kinds of stuff. There was no refinery, and you only got 50% refining out of it, and you had to go to a structure to get 100% refining. It was terrible. You know, the printer was your only way to store stuff, so it just became like the thing you put down to have storage space when you started in an area. So like all you had was basically the refuge and the printer, and everything was kind of tied into that. So they've already expanded base building a lot from that point, and they're just going to keep doing it. So this will be a major part of the game, you know, long term. They have a lot of plans for this, so including the ability eventually to kind of automate some stuff with like drone towers and stuff. So that'll be interesting when we can start having drones to defend and drones to automate some tasks, and maybe even like possibly passively mine and stuff. So there'll be some stuff we can do there. See if those circuits are done yet. No. I guess they should have split them between 2. And there's no skills like EVE Online, so the only thing that limits you from having additional build queues is just building more printers or building more refineries and stuff like that. So thankfully it's just a limitation of resources. There's some difference though, so like the portable refinery, I could refine the metal rich ore in here. Oh, I have fuel in this one. But all I get out of it is silicates and heavy metals, whereas the recipe in the refinery gets me precious metals as well. So it still gets you the silicate, still gets you the heavy metals, but we're also getting the precious metals on top of that. So some of the recipes improve. There is a weird thing with the main printer, like the small printer right now, where it doesn't have the recipe in it at all for the reinforced alloys, which is a basic building block. And so they missed the mark there because it's completely missing. And the recipe for thermal composites is just worse. Like, it's just a worse recipe. So there's some corrections that they need to make still on a lot of things, but that's okay. I am not too concerned about any of it because it all gets wiped in 2 months. You know, like if this was EVE Online, I'd be covering the system name that we're in, and I'd be cautious about opening the map and showing off where we are, but you know, if somebody stream snipes me, then I guess it's just content right now because, you know, frankly, none of it really matters. It's all going to go away soon, few weeks, but still. It's not worth taking too seriously at this point. It's just entertainment and experimentation at this point. Wipe, so they have it set in cycles, and so right now they're calling the current era Promised Lands, and inside of that era they have a couple of cycles, and each cycle lasts 2 months, and so they release a wave of content, they get feedback, they do updates, they fix bugs, and then in 2 months they release a major content update and wipe everybody's progress and start people over. And they're changing things so much that it makes sense that they're wiping, because they change underlying fundamentals, and it just would be way too messy to try and make things work still. Like, they're, you know, we might come in the next time, just as an example, and maybe there's like another level of refinery, because right now they just have small and large and stuff like that. So, you know, it's just a way to get in, test the game, see how things are doing, provide feedback, and then they can take that feedback into the next step. And each of the eras that they've done normally have like a theme of like, oh, this is what we want to test. So, you know, in the previous playtest that I did, it was the first time that you could put down buildings. So they were, you know, it was really easy to put down stargates. They were trying to test the early iteration of how stargates worked. They were trying to test, you know, what people liked and didn't like about the buildings. For example, they put way too much into the refuge. Now the refuge is just fitting services, and I've been told you can deliver ships there from your shipyard, but it's a little buggy, so I don't recommend it. The hangar is a much better solution. Because we had someone deliver a ship to there, and then he was able to get the ship out that he built, but when he tried to get out the ship that was in there, he couldn't, and then when he disassembled the refuge, it just disappeared. So I don't recommend delivering ships to the refuge. You're better off delivering them to space. But if you have a hangar, the hangar works just fine from what I've seen. Oh, right. We already have 2 EM field arrays done. We're waiting on the... You can see why I built the armor restorer before. It's really easy to build. But if we look at the armor restorer, there's a significant amount of cap activation, and it restores 300 hit points. And if we look at the bulky armor plates, which are just the most HP you can get, it has 750. So it was a 15-second cycle, repairing, I mean, like a third, more than a third of my armor HP. It was really, really hard to manage. So I don't like how the armor tanking is set up right now. So we're trying shield tanking this time. Alright, I should have split up these. Okay, good, they're done. And then I think we needed... That's the other thing that I wish we had, is the ability to pin a recipe. Right now you can't pin a recipe. Shield Restorer. 17, 17, 13. At least the same number. We might not even have enough circuits yet. But 3 is a lot faster than building another 10. Oh, we need 1. We need 1. Okay. 17. Let's see, in 1 it would be 22 carbonus, 37 silicate, and then precious metals. We needed 14, I think. Alright, printed circuit, 22, 37. At least that's only 38 seconds. Did I click it? Apparently I didn't. I missed. Alright, we'll start loading up the assembler. The other thing that I don't like right now with the current iteration is that once I start putting stuff into the assembler, like materials, I'm not going to be able to really look at the other blueprints in here. Oh, it's 13. That was close. Which is a little annoying. You can see how a lot of these things just black out, and I can't even show info on them, but I can show info on the ones that are using those same materials. Really quirky little thing that I told them needs to stop, because it's really hard. Like, this takes 4.5 minutes to build, or 4 minutes to build. If I was going to build another thing after this, I'd like to be able to look at it and see what the recipe is, but I can't do that right now. The only way you can do it is if you have multiple, and then you go look in the other one. Get this one. And obviously there's a lot of going between screens. I think eventually they're going to have things linked through the network node, like we'll be able to access our storages to build off of, so that'll be nice. I'll start that. And then you see the warp entanglers and the stasis nets here. So EVE Online equivalent, stasis web, and warp, disruptor scrambler. They are not permanent. Like, it's not you're locked down and you can't run away anymore. They have to be used strategically. So if we look, is this filtered? No. Ammunition charges, ship equipment. Everyday farming fuel for some jumps. It's a good... Yeah, I mean, you need fuel. I end up with so much water that I just kind of passively make fuel anyways. But I've been traveling a couple of times where I nearly ran out of fuel. When we landed at the keep originally, I landed with 160 fuel and didn't know if I was going to be able to get any more. But you can get a free rookie ship in the keep, so I switched over to the rookie ship, and thankfully I found one single carbonus site in the area and was able to get about 800 fuel out of it, which let me jump one more time, and I got lucky, and the system I landed in had carbonus ore, and I was able to refuel. So yeah, I try and keep my fuel topped up. Let's see, what is it under? Interdiction? Yeah, okay. So the stasis net, unlike EVE Online, you can only activate it for 20 seconds, and then it has a cooldown of 30 seconds. And the Warp Entangler, you can activate for 12 seconds, and then it has a cooldown for 45 seconds. So it creates the ability to have, like, kind of that run and chase combat, where you attack somebody, they run away, and you can try and, like, chase them down, play a little cat and mouse if you really want to take them out, or maybe you just wanted to chase them out of that site, you don't care about killing them, but you're not activating your Warp Entangler until you are pretty sure you're going to get a kill, or if you have multiple people there, then you can kind of coordinate and cycle them. There's a lot more tactics involved in combat in this game than EVE Online. In EVE Online, if you're going against a ship that's running drones, and you lock it down and you kill their drones, you can keep them tackled for 20 minutes and they can't do anything about it. They can't run away, they can't do anything, they might as well just walk away and have a coffee or something. You know, you're stuck. Edmund, it is very different than Eve, but it is also similar just in the fact that it's like a space game and, you know, you are your spaceship, so to speak. But it is very much a survival game, you know. I haven't opened the map in a few minutes, but, you know, I'm in a gate network right now, but you can see it's pretty small. You know, this is the end of the network gates that I'm in. And if I zoom out, you can see a lot of this area is no longer connected by gates. You know, some of this is over here, but as you get to the center of the map and off into this area, there's a lot of systems with no gates whatsoever. These red dots are the only NPC stations in the whole game. So ignore this one out here. This is the dev system. But, you know, these are the only places that you can go get to like a standard market and stuff like that. Money is not really an object too much in this game. Like, you need a little bit, but at this point, it's all about resources. There's no skills. Use resources to build your base, and that's how you get more production lines and things like that. There's a lot of resource gathering, and frankly, it's a lot more hardcore. Like, this ship took me like 2 hours to build, and it's just a Corvette. And obviously, like any survival game, the better your tools, the faster you can build stuff. You know, if I had a better ship, I could probably build this in like half an hour. But, you know, when you're first starting out, it's tough. And if you die, you know, you might end up somewhere. Like I can, in fact, I might do this. But I can set this as my home base. So I can just right click here and set as home base. Whoops, I already did it. And you can see right now I'm going to respawn at my little base that I've built. But, you know, if you die, you lose your ship. And that's not a big deal in Eve because you typically have money and you can just go get another one. That's not going to be the case in this, at least not for a long time. You know, the game might hit a point to where you can do that sort of a thing. But, you know, there's like nothing on market right now. There's very, very little. So what you have is what you build or what you and your companions build together. You're pretty limited. Yeah. Oh. I was just looking at my mouse in Streamlabs and was trying to figure out why I couldn't get it into this screen. Yeah, I mean, drug running and stuff like that might be a thing in this, but that would be a long-term thing. So far, there's not any drugs in the game, but maybe there will be eventually. Alright, so we've got our shield restorer, which should give us everything that we want. So we're going to get our field arrays. Get some ammo. And then the rest of our stuff is in the portable storage. On our auto cannons and our shield generator. See if I can unfit right to the portable storage. Oh, perfect, I can. Alright, so we're not going to run an afterburner or the hull repairer. We're just going to go all shield tanking and see how it goes. So now we're going to add shield HP. Starts at 0 because it's shield. It's going to repair over time here. We're going to add shield restore. Go ahead and activate that so that it starts repairing faster. You'll see this pace at which my shield's repairing is increased. Then we're going to add our field arrays to add some EM resistance because that's what the rats are using. And I'm going to grab a little bit more ammo because we go through ammo fast. Also no missiles in the game so far. Yeah, I can understand why you would say it's a myth, but at the same time, I was... let's see, if I look for... This is where my old base is. I jumped into this system right here, which is right next to the gate network. And I kid you not, there was 80 ore sites in this system. You know, we had one here, one or two here. You know, there was a couple throughout the area, but this one had 80 in it. So it's just, you just got to kind of explore around. The gate networks are going dry really fast. You know, they're kind of set up with like a finite resource logic, and this happened before, but from my understanding, when the resource nodes get mined out, they move to another area in the sector. Well, not necessarily everything in the sector is connected by gates. So what's happening right now with the current iteration is things are all respawning outside of those gate networks, and then nobody can find anything because you're just limited. Okay, we're still repairing a little bit. Let's get our shield restorer going. These don't have an activation, do they? What did that do? Let's see. Do I just activate them and that gives me... Oh, interesting. Okay. So these field arrays work a little bit differently. I haven't tried them yet before. But with these field arrays, apparently you turn them on, which reduces your cap recharge. But that's what gives you shield resistances. So that's new. Some of the armor has base EM resistance, which is what these rats are doing. So originally I thought I was going to armor tank, but it did not work out too well. So I don't have a direct shield. You can see that I went from 0.3 HP per second to 0.8. There is no... Oh, it's the reactivation delay. I understand what's happening. But there is no direct shield rep right now. All you can do is increase your recharge. But let us go find a site so we can make some money. I already took out the surveyor site previously. We'll see if it respawned or not. But the surveyor sites are, well, from what I've seen so far, I should say, pretty easy. They only have like 2 guys that spawn. Oh, my music stopped. Let's throw that on. Alright. Oh, we do have some rats here. I can't remember what the orbit button is. And these are autocannons, but you'll notice they have way longer range. Like I just applied damage at 30 kilometers. They're way longer than EVE Online. Accuracy fall off 32, optimal 27. So it definitely operates a little bit different than EVE Online. Try and restore our shields a little bit. Yesterday, or the day before yesterday, I guess when I was doing this, I didn't have any additional shield resistances or anything. So this is helping quite a bit. Looks like we might still go into structure, so I'll have to keep that in mind, but if we look at them, their damage is being dealt. Oh, it's not all EM. They are doing kinetic and explosive. Interesting. Maybe this is a different kind of frigate than I was looking at before. Eef. We're already done with our shields. But one of them's down now. So this is just a very, very basic ship, so it only can do so much. Thankfully, we have the structure as a buffer, too. Doing some damage, but we're taking some pretty good damage, too. I tried doing... when I was having the armor tanking, I tried doing some drone nests, and it was a problem. Because they spawned like 20, and then they spawned a wave of 6 on top of, well, 2 at a time, but 20 total. And then they spawned a wave of 6 on top of me, and I did not survive it. So I lost that ship. Alright, where's our... Only 1 wreck? Rude. So it seems like we'll periodically have to switch it up and put the hull restorer back on to fix our hull. No, there is no high sec, there is no low sec. Everything is null sec, or maybe more accurately like wormhole, because you see local. Not even I'm listed. If I talk in here, I'll show up, but that's the only way that you're going to show up in local. So you don't know if somebody's there. There's no overview. Like, this is just my asset screen, you know? So you have to physically see someone's space to know they're there. It's, you get no warnings. Unless somebody else that's friendly to you has seen, you know, some other person in the area, you're not going to know that they're there. There could be 10 other people in this system right now and just be in different sites or different spots, and I would have no idea. Not a clue. Oh, let's reload. It's supposed to be R, but R doesn't seem to work. Look at that again. Shortcuts. Reload ammo. R. Yeah. You say that. Doesn't seem to work. What was that sound? Was that just my music? Okay, so these feral datas are the only things that NPCs buy. So they're the only way to make Lux, which is the money system in this. There will also be an EVE token, which is similar to Plex and EVE Online long term. But right now, that is only in the game for testing purposes. And if I open my wallet here, which is somewhere, let's see, I have 0.01 EVE tokens, and that's just really for testing. You mean like a mini game in EVE? I mean, maybe, but it's very different. Like, at one point I was thinking, oh, it'd be cool if there was like a crossover event, you know, that crossed over even Frontier somehow, but I don't even think it's feasible. Like, the game is just so different. Alright. Mangled Colony is a loot site. It's not what we're after. Rocky Surveyor site. But they have said that it will, the development of this game will likely end up improving EVE Online 2 because they both share Carbon Engine. So as they make improvements to Carbon Engine for Frontier, they should be able to implement some of those improvements for EVE Online as well. So who knows how much they will converge in the future, but you know, EVE Online will definitely be... I just lost these guys. Camera angle is so small. Where are they? There they are. You can see they turn yellow when they lock, red when they start firing. It's no longer F1, it's 1 and 2, which is something to remember. No, there's no factions. There's a couple of systems that show sovereignty for the ancient civilization, but that's as much information as you have. But there's like no pirates or anything like that. You know, it's post-apocalyptic, and there's no. And now I'm wondering if I like armor better. I just need to take on smaller sites. But there's no, you know, there's no other humans in this. It's all robots and clones as the players. Oh, my shield resistance is turned off. I didn't even realize that. I should have known better because we changed systems, but I wasn't paying attention. Well, that certainly didn't help anything. Be careful not to lose this ship, too. Take a long time to rebuild if I do. But we should be okay, thankfully. There's no wave spawning in this site. A lot of the sites have wave spawning. Yeah, no Minmatar, no Caldari. There's no empires. There's no factions. We are from Clone Bank 86. You know, there might be some other NPC groups, but you are from a clone bank. You are not from any like Empire faction or anything like that. So if I look at my character sheet, history, let's see, I've lost a few ships so far. Clone Bank 86. That is what we were a part of. That's what we spawned as. You know, any empires and factions will be things that players create in this game. At least that's how it's set up so far. So we need like 17 of these, I think, per lens, and the lenses are what let us mine crude. So that's what we need to make fuel for the frigates and stuff. And everything in the game revolves around fuel. So right now, we're just using really cheap fuel, which is really easy to get. Well, normally should be really easy to get. Sometimes people have found that it's not as easy as they think it is to get, but it just takes like basic asteroids, so it's not too hard to create as long as you can find the asteroid belts. But everything above the level of the Corvette is required for requires crude for fuel. So we're a bit limited until we can get the crude, and the lenses are not craftable. They are only You're only able to get them from NPC seeded market. So that's what we're making money for, so we can start making some of that fuel. I took quite a bit of damage. We'll definitely have to put the hull repairer back on temporarily. I hate to say it, but I'm thinking of going back to armor. It may not be the best, but at least it has an active rep on it. And now that we're not trying to do the drone nest, which is a little out of the league of this ship, we should be able to handle it just fine. But for now, we'll just grab the hull repper and rep back up. And get our buffer back. And you know, if I remember to turn on my resistances before we start, then it'll help. Oh, I know what this is for. Still not. Oh, okay. It looks like this is used for some of the data frames, which are, or sorry, the protocol frames and stuff, which are like the core of the ships, so we must need that to build things beyond the Corvettes. Drop these off. And, oh right, it's in my temporary storage. Portable storage, whatever you call it. Hull repair, that's what I'm looking for. Get us repped back up. Fortunately, this hull repair is designed for the shuttle, but let's turn auto repeat back on. I guess I don't need to. If you don't know this, you can turn auto repeat off, but then if you activate the module twice, it just starts again. Yeah, a little bit like entering a wormhole, though. So far, there's no like probe scanning or anything like that, and there's no wormholes that I found in the game. If they are in the game, the only way you'd be able to find them is if they were just like something that your ship sensors picked up, because there's no probe scanning right now. Which for me is good because I'm terrible at probe scanning in EVE and don't want to have to deal with it again. Alright. Repped back up. Field array. What would it take to build the armor stuff? Oh, the timer. Every time that timer gets me, it starts beeping and it scares me. Okay, we can make the bulky armor plates in the other printer. That takes nothing. And then, let's see, coated armor plates. Are these the mid-slot modules? No, these are still lower. 675. I don't think I want that, or the reactive. But they were doing everything except thermal damage. So that's not what I want. Exploso, electric. Okay, EM, explosive, kinetic. So these are exactly what I want. Okay. Explosive, electro. And let's check this one. These are easy to build. We can build these really easy. EM and explosive. So it's mostly EM damage, so maybe I want one of each. Not thermal. Thermal's what we don't want. We want this. 1, 2, and 1. So we have to build a few more chips. Circuits, not chips. 22, 37. Thankfully, we have stuff in stock. Except the chips. We're out of chips. Let's see. Yikes. Nope. Don't want all that. What is 37? 3, 111. Maybe we can split this between 2 different printers and speed it up a little bit. Like last time where I tried to build 10 at once. This is just kind of how this game goes too, you know? Like you try something out, decide you don't like it, switch things up, build new stuff. I mean, maybe, but they're not trying to make an Eve 2.0. They're trying to make a, you know, a very unique game. Like, so far, Vanguard has been kind of treated, the first-person shooter has been kind of treated as an Eve add-on. But I don't know if that'll stay or not. It may change over time. For now. Like they're fundamentally changing architecture tied to this. So I think they would have a really hard time, you know, making it as an Eve Online. Let's see what we have in here that we can build on these printers. We have bulky armor plates. And that's it. So we'll just be able to build the armor plates there. All right. So we will need to build the restorer over here. Restorer 1 and 1. What would it take to put down another assembler? I said I wasn't going to build up this base, and then necessity changes my mind. I don't want to build more circuits. Okay. It's fine. And what do we need for the rest of it? Like, and the fact that the baseline of this game is going to be blockchain, I think they would have a really hard time connecting it to Eve. It would run into issues with their like current terms of service and stuff like that. 2, 1. 2, 1, so 4, 2, and 1. Okay, 4, 2, and 1. Oh, we have exactly 4. And look at us go. Pretend like that was planned. Oh, but am I going to need more for the armor plates? I might be in trouble. No, it uses these. Perfect. Okay, let me get one of these going first. Armor restore 1. 3. I'll use all 3. So we'll start that. Unfortunately, I had built all of this, and then I lost it. Not 3, 4. This is another nice thing. So, like, if you're trying to program apps on EVE Online, you'd be going through stuff, having to look for all these item IDs. It is nice that in the storage here, you just see a view that shows you all the item IDs right there. Makes it a little easier to try and target something. That's not what I want. I want armor plates. Start that going. Get our circuits. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to go too much longer because go see How to Train Your Dragon. We're just kind of building up the channel, so we hit affiliate on Sunday, I think. So we can do all the things now. Bits, subs, even just follows are appreciated, or anybody that's just kind of hanging out. Appreciate you watching the stream and joining us. Our stream boss is taking a little damage today from the follows that we have gotten. Alright, we got one of these done. Now we can start working on the next one. And I'm still kind of learning some of this, so if anything seems weird or if the chat bot's doing funky things, let me know. I'll work on fixing them. Let's see. Nope, we don't want any of that. You're looking for, not thermal. This one, right? 10 of each. Yep, we'll start there. And this. And this. Start that. There's no storage in the printers now, so the only storage is when you put stuff into inputs, so it's a little bit of weird interaction. Excuse me, I hope they streamlined that a little bit. Not going to use those. That must not be the printer I'm building in. Few more seconds. But I'm definitely looking forward to the vision that they have for this. You know, if they can execute on it, which so far I think they're, you know, well on their way in that direction. It's going to end up as a really fun and engaging game. Speaking of which, if anyone does want to fly with us, I do have a link to the Discord for our group down below. So far, it's just a couple of us that are, you know, played EVE Online together and wanted to check this out. You know, small subset of my corp from EVE Online. So it's definitely not going to apply to everybody. I know some people have wondered if they think, oh, is this going to kill EVE Online? I don't think there's any way this kills EVE Online. I think they're a unique enough experience, and I think a lot of EVE Online players won't handle this game very well. You know, EVE Online is a much more casual game. in comparison. Oh, so I was wrong earlier. 150 alpha strike, 75 DPS. So you're asking about, how well structures could be killed at 75 DPS for kind of a starter ship. The portable ones are, whoops, I meant to show info on this. The portable ones are quite a bit weaker. So you can see 12,000 shield HP, 6,000 structure and armor. But even still, shield recharge time of 40 seconds, you're not going to get through 12,000 HP in 40 seconds. So a couple of people could take one down, but you're going to burn through probably more ammo than you have. At least when you're just rocking the basic ships. As you start getting higher level ships and stuff like that, then the portable stuff will definitely be within reach. We already have the bulky armor plates. We're waiting on this. But it's one of those things, obviously, that, you can end up adding more stuff to your base, defend it. Hey, Funny Bones. Yeah, unfortunately, my time is a little limited right now, but after the movie, I might get on again later tonight. But happy to talk through any questions you have in the meantime. Since you're brand new, I'll open up the map for you and show you. If you're familiar with EVE Online, you're familiar with the stars and the connected gates and stuff. Oh yeah, so they're very different games, but if you play EVE Online, you'll kind of get a feel for like the vibe and stuff like that. This is more of a survival experience. This is more of a hardcore experience than EVE Online. But play some EVE Online, get used to doing some PvP, because right now the PvP model is comparable, I will say, to EVE Online. Circle up and shoot the ship and stuff like that, and just get used to playing a game that's like EVE, where when you get shot and blow up, you lose everything you're flying with. So you learn to fly what you can afford to lose, is a common saying in there. But with EVE, you're not going to see all these disconnected systems, and you're not going to have, like, this ship has a jump drive built into it. That's what this bubble around it's representing. The jump drives in EVE Online are relegated to like Black Ops and Capital ships, and they need a sino emplacement on the other end to jump to, so they need a fixed target. This is not the case. Right now I could just right click, jump using jump drive, and jump to another system, and it's just burning my fuel up. It's not burning, well, it's not using anything else. There is still a fuel component in EVE Online, but the fuel component is only relegated to that action of jumping. In this game, fuel is related to everything that uses your capacitor. So if you're burning energy to fire guns or repair your armor or whatever you're doing that's burning up your ship's capacitor, it's burning fuel. Be like 2 missions. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's different. Like in the beginning of EVE, you go through this tutorial stuff and you get handed like 5 ships. In this one, they hand you like a rookie ship and they're like, all right, good luck. Do your thing. Like there's a tutorial to follow, but there's no freebies in the tutorial. All the tutorial does is tell you what you need to do to start building up. Nice. Yeah, I mean, even like I say, just doing the starter missions, it'll give you a feel for the game, but also they give you a bunch of like free basic ships to start. And I would say, like, if you want to learn kind of the PvP aspect and stuff like that, just get yourself fit up with like a basic frigate and then go join faction warfare in EVE, or and just kind of go out and experience some of that small gang PvP environment. Oh, this is not the printer we want. But EVE is You know, Eve is civilization. This is the backwater, you know. This is, you know, potentially Eve post-collapse. There's also... It's hard to say if it's part of the game or if it's holdovers from Eve, but it's potentially where the Trigs came from in Eve Online, this area, because I've noticed some similarities if I look at the character models that they have in games so far. So you can see they have 3 different packages right now, right? So this is the basic package. It's got kind of a digital looking frame. This is the medium package where you've got kind of a no detail clone. And then this is the higher end package where it has kind of this armor view. And this reminds me a lot of the Trig armor in EVE Online. So it's kind of interesting, and there was apparently some little like events in nullsec in EVE Online previously that also has made people think that it could be related to the Trig stuff. So we'll see. We'll see. It's something for the players to discover. I do too. I like going out and exploring, and you might also enjoy wormholes in EVE then, if you can figure out the scanning game. I'm really bad at it, but there's a lot of people that like doing the exploration stuff. Alright, so let's get my stuff. I have to separate these things because I have trouble telling the modules apart. I have told them that could use some improvement, but maybe that's just me. I'll try running one more site here just to see how we're doing with the armor tanking. Yeah, I like Frontier because I like survival games. You know, I like Medieval Dynasty and Conan Exiles and 7 Day to Die and all that kind of stuff. So I like the feel that Frontier's going for. I like that survival game aspect of it. You know, I can also burn out in survival games though, so we'll see, you know. But so far I'm having a lot of fun with it. Alright, Surveyor site. There's 2 of them. Perfect. Hopefully we don't meet anybody else on the way. Oh. Remember to turn on your resistances, Jaffner. So let's see what we're looking like. Oh, warping turns them off. Good to know. That's an important factor. But I do have base 50% EM resistance with the armor, so that already helps quite a bit. 2 frigates. I didn't see anything else in here. Alright, so we've got a little bit more resistance on our armor now. Lock up. I keep forgetting what the orbit button is. I don't remember. But let's start shooting. Blackness of space. What do you mean by looking at zone to zone with the blackness of space? Like just like the background itself? Like the backdrop? Oh, so I mean there's some dust in this site, but you're looking at a nebula in the background right now. Like this is a nebula in the universe. As you move around in the universe, this will change colors. You might see it from a different angle. This has a physical location in the game, and all these stars that you see here, these stars are actually the stars in the game. So I can show you after this site. If I set a route to somewhere, you'll actually see the route drawn between the stars in the backdrop here. And it's the same in Eve. If you set a route in Eve and you look at like the backdrop through the stars, if you move your camera around, you will end up seeing that route reflected. So it's kind of a cool little touch that they do in their games. Yeah, it's really cool. Like this area that I'm in happens to have this red nebula, but you know, like if I move around enough, I might find somewhere that has like a blue or a green nebula or a deep purple. Repair a little bit. This is going much, much better. So it was really hard to manage in the drone nest with so many enemies coming at us, but with just the two of them, not that far. Where is the loot? There it is. Now, nope, reload. Load. So, yeah. Right now there's about 24,500, but yeah, eventually we'll hit 100,000. So that should give us enough to look. All right, let's see. There it is right there. See the line between the stars? That is the route that I just set. So those are the stars that I would be traveling between if I was going down that jump path. So you can see it physically reflected in the sky there, which I think is a really neat feature. Oh yeah, and plus on top of that, you know, you're going to get a reset every 2 months. So, you know, if you get curb stomped and want to reset, it'll happen in a couple of weeks. Conan Exiles, I just saw that message. Solo is kind of a grind. I've never gotten too deep into it. I think it would be much better with other people who never tried it before. Almost to our wreck. But yeah, they put a lot of nice little details into the game, you know, and this is, like, I'm on high graphics right now, but I know these will improve. Like, obviously this ship is not really textured yet. You know, this is pretty early texture path on it. Oh, thank you for the follow, Dr. Funny Bones. Alright, we got one more surveyor site we can go do. So it turned off my resistance modules last time. Maybe it's going to do it again. I'm going to have to get used to that if it does. In Eve, your resistance modules don't turn off when you warp. They stay going. Yep, okay. I have to remember that. Alright, 5 and 6. If you do decide to pick up Frontier, I do have an affiliate link down below the stream where it has the link to Frontier Orbit, please. I'm not exactly sure what it's going to do yet, but normally it provides benefits to both parties. I also have a link down there to the Discord if you decide you want to fly with us. There's just a couple of us that play EVE Online together that have decided to team up in Frontier 2. Nice. EVE does have that free-to-play option, which is nice. Lets you try out the game, you know. I remember when they first added free-to-play, in EVE, they're like, I don't know, is this really going to work? And they were reviewing, they have a player council called CSM that's elected by the player base, and they were asking them about it, and CCP was like, oh no, trust us, it works. Like, the game is way better from like a population standpoint with adding the free option. So they have learned their lesson, and when this game goes live, there will be a free option for it as well. You know, where you'll... I don't know how free it will be in this one, because without things like skills, there's maybe harder to limit people. I'm not sure what they'll do, but there will be a way to pay for your subscription with in-game currency, at least. It'll have a similar system to Plex. Watch my armor here. Don't have a lot of cap left. That's the site. Oh, we actually got 2 loot drops this time. I don't know why we weren't getting anything on the previous sites. So much ammo, though. That's 120 ammo just to take down 2 frigates. Yeah. I've gotten very used to it. Like, I played WoW in college. You know, and so I was kind of used to that type of MMO. That was kind of the first MMO that I played. And then, you know, by the time Cataclysm came out in WoW, I kind of lost a lot of my enjoyment of it. Though, don't get me wrong, I went back and played some Classic and stuff and had some fun with that in more recent years. But, you know, when you don't really have any consequences for dying in a game like that, you know, but then you get and you play Eve and you're like, oh man, I just worked 20 hours to get this ship. And you go out there and you fly it, and, you know, my first experience in EVE Online was my buddy and I were like, well, there's no level 3 mission runners out in this high-sec area, so let's just go out to low-sec and run level 3 missions out there. And we, of course, immediately got owned because it's low-sec in EVE Online. And so my buddy rage quit EVE at that point, never came back to it again, because we lost our first battle cruisers ever. And I was like, huh, this is interesting. I'll just go get another ship. And I just kept playing. So I've gotten very used to that kind of cycle. But I am a CEO in EVE. We have probably, I think it's about 40 or 50 like human members right now. Yeah. Yeah, I started playing EVE in 2009. So it's definitely one of those games that I've quit playing a few times, but I always come back to. But I played fairly consistently for the last, or continuously maybe I should say, for the last couple of years. Fallout 76. I never started Fallout 76, but I could definitely see that. I had some buddies that played, and I was tempted. But I'm definitely someone that puts a lot of hours into a select few games. I don't have a very wide library of games, so like I've put a ton of time into Medieval Dynasty and Civilization 6. More recently, Mountain Blade 2. So I've very heavily focused on certain games, and then other games I'm like, yeah, I'm sure they're cool, but I just haven't put a lot of time into them. I guess I don't really need to do this. This thing's pretty strong. No one's gonna kill it. I'm in a habit of, like, games like this, I take all the expensive stuff out, but I want to save just in case somebody attacks my stuff and throws it all in my cargo hold. But I think instead what we'll do is I'll save what we can. We're not going to use the shield. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to save my cargo grid. That's the main thing I want. Oh, but I can't because I have ammo. Not big into strategy. I haven't played the latest Civ, actually. I keep waiting for a really good sale on it. I used to always pay full price for Civ, but I've owned my business for the last couple of years, and being a small business owner means I'm perpetually broke. So I haven't had the money to invest in a lot of games, so I've been very, very picky about what I buy. But I don't have a strong opinion on the latest one. I've just mostly played a lot of Civ 6. Yeah, well, games have gotten expensive too. You know, you spend $70 on a game, and so it's like, cool, I'll buy like one game a year maybe. It's not something I can afford to invest a lot in. Oh yeah, school will do that too. I was very broke. I didn't even go the expensive med school, but I was very broke for a long time after school. But my brother, who is very generous, will ask me like, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I'm like, "Steam gift card." I can't afford to buy games, but if you buy me a Steam gift card, then I won't feel bad about it. So I buy like Manor Lords and stuff like that, which is also a very good game. Okay, I think I'm going to take a break here. $3 for Borderlands is solid. But I'm going to go watch How to Train Dragon, and I will probably come back in a few hours and get back on. So we'll take a break for now. Thanks everybody that stopped by, followed. Appreciate it. And we'll see y'all soon. Later. Later, Dr. Funnybones.